Yes, yes, yes. It is that time of the year, guys. Welcome to my channel. Yet again, Satellar Knight here. And this is a new year. And is this my first video of the year? No, I don't think so. I think I made another one prior to this. But this is my first deck profile of the year. And what a way to start with my 2023 branded Despia Bystial Tearlaments deck profile. It's a mouthful and it is a handful, guys. That's what she said. Okay, no, I'm just kidding. But seriously, guys, this deck is amazing. I've been playing this deck ever since I came back to the game just last year, actually. If you know me, I've been playing Satellar Knights prior to this. And the first deck that I came back with was actually it was the branded deck. And the thing that drew me into it was really the artwork and the lore of the deck, which is really interesting and something I wish Satellar Knights had more of. And yeah, that's the backstory of that. So since I picked up the deck, I've been playing it. And what I'm really excited about this year is how amazing it looks. We are talking about Hypernova just around the corner, guys. And Cybernetic Axis is looking more and more promising with Satellar Knight support. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the deck profile of my branded, I'm just going to call it branded, my branded deck profile now before the Hypernova hits. And then I'll do a Cybernetic, pre-Cybernetic Access deck profile of my Satellar Knights before their support arrives. If you've been paying attention, you're not living under a rock, you can tell that Photon Hypernova will be competing with Cybernetic Access as the best set of the year right off the bat. We're talking more branded support, guys. Have you seen the new fusions? I know you have. I'm trying to make space in this extra deck. It's running tight as it is, but not only that, they're coming out with more effect monsters to support the deck. The new Bystial cards that are, where is it? Right over here? Sure, let's put it right over my face. The new Bystial card, I think it's called Drake or something, is amazing in of itself, and that's going to make its way here. This is going to be like a 50 plus card pile at least. Cartesia is going to see play now with Fusion Deployment. If you guys have Fusion Deployment, please hold on to it. The price will skyrocket, I guarantee it. The deck itself is going to be competitive. And as a Teller Knight and a branded owner, I am excited to announce that this year will be the year of those two decks. There will be top 10 decks this year. I guarantee it. With all the support that they're getting, it's hard to deny. Without further ado, guys, smash the subscribe button, leave a like, comment down below. How is your day going? Mine is not going so well. It is pouring here in California, in Los Angeles specifically, but that prompted me to do a little deck profile for you guys. Yeah, so let's just jump right into it. We got 2 copies of Fallen of Albaz, guys. Fallen of Albaz is an amazing card. I think the whole lore is based around him. What a beauty, huh? I just recently upgraded the card to an Ultimate Rare. I can't even say it because it looks so beautiful, guys. So you're on 2 copies of this guy. You don't need 3. Drawing it is not so bad, especially because you can contact fuse with Dragon Links. Any dragon deck that you play against, this guy contact fuses is just amazing because it dodges everything. You got 1 copy of Albion Shrouded Dragon. You can run 2. 1 is good enough. 2 is actually not bad either. You know, the guy is unbricks your hand, sends a branded spell or trap to the graveyard, like any branded spell or trap card. Wow, like a branded Retribution can go to the graveyard. When I know I'm going to bring out a fusion card, I go branded opening to the graveyard, you know, and then if I'm ready to set up with branded beast, I'm going to send one of the branded continuous spell and trap cards to the graveyard, and he lets you draw a card. And it's a Fallen of Albaz in the graveyard, just an amazing card overall. Cartesia will not be in this deck, guys, right now. As of now, it's going to be in the following updated version of it because of how important of a role she plays. Tribrigade Mercurier. This guy is an MVP of a deck. I cannot believe I didn't run this deck before, this card in the deck before. He single-handedly has won me many tournaments, guys. Very underrated card, but very effective. Just the fact that my opponents know that I have this guy in my hand, they're so scared to play, and they end up misplaying. Okay, let's go to our Despia part of the deck. This is our second engine. We got 3 copies of the newly upgraded upgraded as well. Aliber, the Jester of Despia. As soon as this card came out in Ultimate Rare, I'm like, man, I have to have it. And boy, it is beautiful, guys. Ultimate Aluber, or Aliber, however you like to pronounce it. 3 copies of that, standard. That gets your branded fusion to your hand. One of the best spell cards in the game right now. We got 3 copies of your Despian Tragedy. A very good card, a very good discard, a very good card to banish. Just all around. 3 copies is mandatory. For me at least, I'm running the Tearlament engine in here, which kind of benefits of running an extra kind of send to the graveyard. So, and then 1 copy of Ad Libitum of Despia. This card is very underrated, very amazing, guys. If you you can essentially use, if you play it right with Branded in Red specifically, you can actually use your Mirror Jade during your opponent's turn and then somehow banish this guy and your Mirror Jade to bring out a second Mirror Jade and use its effect again. Quite handy, quite amazing, to be honest. I really like this card. Dramaturge is not necessary in the deck. The deck functions well enough without it. And I'm trying to make this the most efficient deck that I can. And I think that running it at this rate works out best. At least for me, that's what I've come to conclude. We have the Bystial engine. This is our 3rd engine. We got 1 copy of Lubellion. You can run 2 copies if you're really relying on it. I'm not so reliant on this engine, but it's a good thing to have. Hand traps, essentially. Bystial Magma, Pizza Hut or Magma Nut or whatever you want to call it. 2 copies, and then 2 copies of Drew Swarm. Okay, self-explanatory, and 1 copy of Saronir. What do I think? I think when Drake comes out, another 3 copies are going to go in this deck. Okay, what's going to come out? Most likely Saronir is going to get cut. I'm not sure. The way that the deck flows, I actually want to leave them all in and add the 3 copies. I don't care. I think the deck will function well. What's amazing is when the Synchro, spoiler alert if you guys are not aware, there's a Synchro branded cards that are going to come out, and now actually some of them they're going to be called the Bestials as well. There's a Chaos one that's coming out in Cybernetic Axis that's very overpowering. What was that? Okay, that's very overpowering, and that's going to be level, I think it's going to be a Light in the Dark, and it's a level 10, which is perfect because these guys are a 6 and Cartesia is a 4. So the plays open up so much. You can run Synchros in this deck right now if you wanted to. The only drawback, I think, is Branded Fusion. But I guess gauge it as you may. I mean, some test hands will come in handy. I'll try that out later. But it opens up the potential of this deck so much that I cannot even begin to comprehend it. Then we're moving on to our tier engine. 3 Shiren, or Shiren, however you like to pronounce it. 3 is mandatory. Very good card. I took out Reinhardt and its fusion. Kaleidohard? Don't need it. Not in this deck. The deck limit is so tight. You're not going to need it. 3 Havness, MVP of the deck. Very powerful card. You got 2 Merleys. 3 is too many. And then 2 King of the Swamps. For now, this card is used to bring out the new boss monster that came out of the Dark World Structure deck. Grava. Thank you. Voices in my head. Okay, so that's my monster lineup. Okay, very consistent ratio. I think I run about 20-25 monsters in this deck. So that's the monster lineup. Okay, then we have our spell cards. We have the most powerful spell card in this deck in Branded Fusion. You guys know what it does. I'm not going to explain it again. Please read a book. 3 copies of Branded Opening. Don't forget the monster protection in the graveyard. Very important. 1 copy of Branded Lost. A very powerful spell card. You put this down and your fusions are unstoppable, guys. 1 copy of Branded in Red. 1 copy of Branded in High Spirits. Open up your kind of hand if you don't have anything. Can easily get Rokalos turn 1 or dump Albion into the graveyard on turn 1. However you want to play it. Then we got 1 Branded Regain and 1 Branded Beast. Beast is a card that you never want to see. You don't want to draw into it. You want to actually add it out of Lubellion, but it's not the worst thing, I guess. Then you got your 2 copies of original polymerizations, beautiful copies of the card, my favorite versions of them from the anime. So 2 copies of that. You got 1 instant fusion, okay? card should stay at 1. It's pretty broken, not gonna lie. Foolish Burial, that's to dump either your Tearlaments if you're running out of options, or your Tragedy. And you got 3 copies of Allure of Darkness. This is your draw power, this is your banish power, okay, which you're gonna have enough of. Okay, so that's your spell lineup. Essentially 1 trap card. So now let's move on to your extra deck. So for extra deck, we have our 2 copies of Mirror Jade. I was running 1 for a while, then I realized 2 is better. A lot of times, especially in the upcoming format, you'll be playing against Kashtira, which will do its best to try to remove your Mirror Jade. This is the way to at least slow it down a little bit. Have another one in your pocket, and then 1 copy of Lubellion. You know, 2 is okay as well, but 1 is good enough. Okay, this is my hidden weapon here. If I'm going first, I'm trying to make this guy as much as I can. Triple Tax Dragon, guys. With the tier engine, it's very easy to make this guy first turn, and even easier to make it during your opponent's turn with Brandon in red. But I usually have high success with bringing this guy out. If you bring this guy out your first turn of your first play, it is very hard for your opponent to do anything the following play. It either cripples them to stop them from going full combo, or they just scoop because they cannot get over, what is this, 2,400 points of damage per effect activated. That is insane. But yeah, and you got 2 copies of your Secret Rare Albion, the Branded Dragon. Very beautiful in Secret Rare, guys. It's like a parallel secret. Amazing. 2 copies is mandatory. 1 copy of Albalinatus. This guy is even more important in the following meta. Trust me, guys. You want to play this guy in your deck if you're running a Branded, because there's so many Bystials and there's so many Dragon supports that are coming out. Even the new Branded Aliber looking is a Bystial monster, and it's a Dragon tuner. So this guy, enough. Dragons are going to dominate the meta yet again, I'm telling you. 1 copy of your Brigard, the Glory Dragon. Did I say that right? Brigand? Whatever. The Glory Dragon. 1 copy of your Glory Dragon. This is the guy that you want to send if you have an extra send and you want to add Mercurier to your hand, okay? Then you have your tier fusions. You got your Kit Kalos, and you got your, as you guys know, my freshly acquired Tearlament Rule Kalos. Look at this beauty, huh? What a card. Yeah. So here again, this is my prize card in the deck. But now that I think about it, the deck is kind of expensive at this point. What am I doing with my life? Anyway, and then you got your 1 copy of Grapha the Dragon Overlord. This is gonna be, Grapha is gonna be in there until the new fusions come out. I think he's one of the contestants to come out of the deck. I'll also probably cut down one of the Tax Dragons for more of the newer releases. Okay, 1 Chimera. Brandon and Red and Chimera, they synergize so well, so perfectly. And 1 Dragostapelia, another one that might get cut. Can you believe that as powerful of a card as Super Polymerization is, it is not being played right now? I mean, at least not that I've seen. It's not like that impressive anymore. Cards just can get around it. By the way, it brings me to the point that the following Cybernetic Access also has another fusion for Branded, and it's a dragon, and it cannot be used as a fusion material or cannot be targeted. It's a beefy monster. I think 3,500 attack points too. Anyway, guys, this is, before I get off topic and just start blabbering away for another 10 minutes, this is my Branded Bystial Tearlament Despia, in that order, or however you want to put it, deck profile, guys. Leave a like, smash the subscribe button, and I think the next video I'll make would be exciting stuff. The sneak peek that's going to happen later in February, I'm going to try and live stream it and also participate in that tournament and try to share that experience with you guys too. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys enjoy this content, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Satellar Night out.